Mm.
So perfect. So we're in talks with Russ Dewbury, the sound man over in Brighton. So as I was saying to you, Russ, from our research, obviously behind a lot of the jazz, soul, and reggae events, we find you as one of the prominent promoters behind it, and of course you're a DJ. So to the people, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Both in equal measure. So I was always interested in soul music. Coming through, I came through the kind of mod scene of the early 1980s, based around soul and rhythm and blues music, 60s rhythm and blues music, basically. So I used to go to all the all-nighters, used to go to some Northern Soul events, got a passion basically for soul music. And a friend of mine said, oh, there's a DJ, you should go and check him out in London. This was 1986, called Paul Murphy, and he's playing jazz. And I kind of toyed with jazz, but I thought jazz was something your dad might listen to, or I'd never really heard any elements to jazz really. But anyway, I went to see this DJ at the Electric Ballroom in London, and he was playing jazz like I'd never heard in my life. Just the most incredible stuff mixed with a lot of Latin music. Are you still there? Are you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah.
You want me to carry on talking?
Yeah. I was just taking it off so it doesn't mix the footage up. It's fine. I'll chop in.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'll just I'll keep on talking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw the beginnings of what was the London jazz dance scene. That was mid-1980s, based in London. Got blown away by the music, got an immediate passion for jazz. Up to that point, again, it was more soul and R&B, but now I was looking for jazz. I was looking for the funkier elements of jazz, and also Latin music and African music. And to cut a long story short, I moved to Brighton in early 1987, and I started promoting events a month after I got here, February 1987, which was my club, the Brighton Jazz Rooms. And I'm still 36 years later. I'm still doing regular events based around my original Jazz Rooms night, but also a lot of live events.
Yeah.
And I kicked off in Brighton again, 1987, with successful club nights, and then decided to move into live music. Into live music promotion, mixing that with the DJ sets. And I found that was a really good combination, DJs and live music all together. And I ran an event called the Brighton Jazz Box, which ran here for many, many years. We used to get 2,000 people a time.
Wow.
And I put on basically the cream of the early 90s. You'd call it acid jazz scene, I guess. Groups like Galliano, James Taylor Quartet, Brand New Heavies. But equally, I'd bring in an American act that had never been here before, from the sort of Rare Groove days, 1960s and 70s acts that had never been to the UK. I brought them over, and we had this like winning formula of new and old acts together. So the Brighton Jazz Box has been running for many, many years as well.
Oh.
And in my career, I've DJed all over the globe. I've promoted live music shows all over the globe. And yeah, still going strong in 2023.
Oh, that is incredible, man. So what do nominations like these mean to you?
Say that again?
What do nominations like these mean to you in terms of what you do?
It's just a really nice thing to be nominated for the award after, so many years, 35, 36 years of promoting underground music. It's really nice to be nominated for the award. Yeah, it's great, really great.
So, and what in all your years of promoting and DJing, give me two of your favorite live acts that you've worked with, and maybe your favorite venue that you've played in or promoted.
The venue's really easy. The Jazz Box show that I mentioned earlier, we did the Top Rank Suite in Brighton, which later became the event, and I put on tons and tons of acts. Probably two of my favorites. We put the Roots on very early in their career.
Wow.
With Jill Scott playing keys. Nobody knew really who Jill Scott was. I remember seeing her on the band list.
Wow.
So we put the Roots on the same bill as Roy Ayers, Ubiquity, favorite American acts, Pharoah Sanders, Art Blakey, Spearheads. Yeah, we put on a lot of acts. I'd say, yeah, they were amongst those were my favorites. Also Terry Callier, the classic US soul singer, John Lucian. Yeah, we really put on a who's who of acts.
That's incredible. And how do they find Brighton when they get here from places like America?
They loved it. They absolutely, because a lot of these old jazz and funk stars were playing to like cocktail bars in the US, and then come over here and play in front of a couple of thousand people who knew their music. They couldn't believe it, a young audience that knew the music. So it was a very special vibe.
Yeah, I mean, one of my first questions was going to be, just hit my mind, why Brighton, and what does Brighton mean to you?
I picked Brighton because, well, my sister was at university down here. That was the first thing. So I'm originally from Bedford, and nothing goes on in Bedford, or didn't at that time, in the mid-80s. There was a bit of a scene in London, but it was kind of covered, and I thought maybe take it somewhere else. Came to visit my sister in Brighton, found it a very sort of artistic community here with a lot of student influence, a lot of a good, strong club scene and music scene, and it was the obvious place to do it, really.
Yeah, I love Brighton.
I've been here ever since. Yeah, so incredible all these years later.
Yeah, for sure. I think Brighton has really got a bit of a niche in terms of just the artistic side of things there. There's a lot going on, but the diversity of the activities is very unique as well.
Thing back in the day was that people used to travel a long way, and Brighton was always a good destination for, like, easy to get to from London, fairly easy to get to from the south. And it was a bit of a tourist destination anyway. So I found that really helpful, that people would come to we used to get tons of people coming to our events from London and all over the south, but all over the UK as well. I had people coming down from Manchester and Leeds and Scotland and all over. Yeah,
I can imagine if putting on acts like the Roots, the coverage would be fairly substantial from across the UK.
Yeah.
Early doors as well.
So I mean, the cinematic orchestra I put on really, really early. In fact, they did their first ever gig at one of my events. Wow. And so there's a lot of history there for sure. Yeah.
And also, when it comes to reggae, what's your favorite sound system, or who do you listen to as well in that genre?
To my favorite sound system, I stay within my scene, really. So obviously Giles Peterson is a big, I've known him a long time. A lot of the jazz DJs, really, Colin Curtis, Paul Murphy, various other people in London. So I DJ a lot, so I don't really get the chance to go out too much and check other things out. I go to more live gigs, really, I guess.
Oh, so have you been down to Bournemouth recently, or?
I've never played in Bournemouth. No, but I've got a few friends that live in Bournemouth, and I think it's probably kind of an obvious place, really, for me to come and play, because I've never played there.
For sure. So
hopefully put that right sometime soon.
For sure, I think the scene here would definitely love you. There's definitely opportunities out here for someone like you and what you do. So my last thing I would ask you is, what are you listening to now, and what would you recommend us to play?
So, well, as a DJ, I've always played old and new music together. So in my sets, you're going to hear a lot of older kind of golden era nuggets mixed with a lot of new music. At the moment, probably my favorite track is by a band called Mo Horizons, who it's like a Latin funk track called Havana B-Boys. I literally just played that on Saturday, and that's kind of the big track at the moment. But yeah, there's too much stuff to mention, really, because there's always so much music coming out. But in terms of labels, things like BBE, Paul Murphy's Jazz Room Records, Jazzman, yeah, labels like that.
Yeah. So say right now Russ is trying to get into his zone. I don't know, maybe you're doing some chores or just doing some work around the house. What would be the first thing we put on?
The first thing I would put on would be probably a track by Terry Callier, called Dancing Girl. He's someone he's a 1960s and 70s soul singer from Chicago that I managed, and he did really well, played all over the world, and yeah, that's a big track for me. Or I'm going to mention the Rotary Connection, which is a track from 1970 but very futuristic, called I Am the Black Gold of the Sun. So I'll mention that one as well.
Oh, we'll do a little research into the last one and then see if that's in there. We'll definitely have a little listen now. I think you expanded my my music knowledge a little bit in this conversation. So definitely do a little bit of research on the bands you mentioned. Some of the ones that I didn't know. Let me check them out. And it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure for me.
Yeah, for sure. And hope to have, maybe the 9th of December be your first trip down to Bournemouth. Obviously, we're holding the event in Poole.
Yeah.
Be a great introduction to the scene and to the people down here.
Yeah, sounds good. Looking forward to it. We'll get that Bournemouth gig sorted at some point as well, definitely.
Yeah, let's do it. Now you got to connect down here. So I'm all ears. I'll put you in touch with some really great people. One of the panelists and the guys that work with me on the project, Jay Ratchet from Hot Radio. He's a big soul Motown guy. He plays a lot of old school and new school music.
Yeah, it'd be nice to make some connections there and do something.
Yeah, for sure. I think you'd be right up his street. It's been a pleasure, Russ. What I'll do is I'll put this into our programming and we'll take some snippets from there, as I mentioned, and we'll do a little introduction to yourself and what you do. And what is the next gig? That's what I should ask. What's the next gig?
Funny enough, I'm playing. Well, it's moving down your way in a place. Chichester.
Yeah, I went to uni there.
Did you live there?
Yeah, I lived in Bognor Regis. I went to Chichester University.
Oh my God! Okay, well, you know how small Chichester. So there's a bit of a soul scene there now, and I went down and DJ'd in March down there. And honestly, the event sold out in 24 hours. Sold 150 tickets in 24 hours. Just went. And I played a go. Well, it was a really successful gig. So I'm going back playing this Saturday.
Nice. Wow. Okay. So anyone out and about in Chichester? What's the venue? Oh, it's sold out now, isn't it?
It's no. Well, this is a venue, but I think equally it's called Namer. It's a new sort of cafe bar, but with a really, really top sound system.
Nice.
Made for vinyl. So yeah, it should be good.
Nice. Cool. We'll tune into that. And if I'm around that area, I'll definitely pop in. But if not, we'll see you on the 9th of December. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Russ.
This with me as well. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye.